so we're going to move on. Enough of fun. Let's plug in and grow, guys, okay? If you're interested in growing your organization, obviously, you guys are. That's why you're here, okay? You have to go to lunch and learns. And if you invite someone to a lunch and learn that you're trying to introduce eXp to, you should really attend with them. Just don't send them, you know, a little inconvenient. But go with them, sit next to them, introduce them. You need more volume? I can't control the volume, it's her. Rich, if you can tell Susan, that's great. You keep doing this to me, and I'm like,
I'm going to give you the other favor in about 2 minutes.
I can't, buddy, I love you, I can't do anything. Can you hear me now, Chris? Okay. So, lunch and learns. There's some people that will send people to lunch and learn, and I'll meet them, and I'm like, who's your potential sponsor? And the potential sponsor's not there. It's not how to grow a business. Meet your potential sponsor there. They're going to feel warm and fuzzy, and they're going to know you're committed to them if you show up. Right? Zoom calls. So Zoom calls right now, we have Rich Tomasini in charge of Zoom calls, so please defer to him for Zoom calls. We have Rich doing the Zoom call. Where's Barry Pulver? Barry, there you are, Barry. Barry has a beautiful English accent. It's so funny, I'll get a phone call from someone. I got a phone call last month from a woman from Kansas City. I just loved his voice. So if that's how you can nail that recruit, have to go to Barry. AJ Mina is doing a Zoom call also. Marcus Dilly is going to sing his way through a Zoom call. So the Zoom calls are a great other function that we have, a great other option for people that can't get to lunch and learn. Rich, what did it last for? About an hour?
45 minutes.
Okay, Rich has got it down to 45 minutes. He can do it in his sleep. Okay, he's done so many of them. And they're really powerful because you'll look around and all of a sudden there'll be like 20 to 40 agents on the Zoom call. And at the end, these guys, Rich, Barry, Marcus, AJ, they'll open it up to Q&A, and it's live. So utilize the Zoom calls. Three-way calls. You know, Holly Evans, raise your hand. There's Holly in the back. She's recruiting 2 strong agents right now. And these agents need to talk to everyone, right? And they're really strong guys who want to get. But, you know, Rich has talked to them. I tried to call them a few times. They're busy. Brent Coe's going to talk to them. Holly, you probably had Keeley talk to them. So sometimes other agents need to talk to other agents. So make yourself available, okay? The three-way call, don't be afraid to reach out to your sponsor and say, hey, Bill, listen, I know that you want me to come over to eXp, but I was part of a team, or I have a team. Who else can we talk to? I was like, you'll talk to my sponsor, Craig and Shelly, because they're a team. Or, hey, Bill, I'm coming from Allen Tate. Do you know someone who's a tater I can talk to? Sometimes they want to talk to another agent where they came from, okay? So always think about who's above you, who's below you, who's in your organization, where it could be a strength with that agent they talk to. Okay, it's not just all about you sometimes. Believe it, I refer to a lot of people. I've knocked on Rich's door, Keeley's, Craig and Shelly's a ton. They have a different, you know, outlook of different agents and how they get along and communicate with each other. It usually takes, you know, a village sometimes to get people to open their eyes to eXp. Face-to-face meetings, Laura and I covered that. Rich really grew most of his business face-to-face from day one. You know, and by the way, Rich Tomasini just hit 40 agents. Congratulations, Rich. That's on his front line. That's his front line. Local leadership meetings. You're here today, and that's what we're going to do. Okay. And our next one, we are collaborating right now. When it's going to be, we think it's going to be July. And we think it's going to be fun. It's going to be Myrtle Beach. And we're looking at a nice conference center. Cuba, which one are we looking at? Grand Dunes in Myrtle Beach. And it will be during the week. It'll probably be like, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday night. And Branco started these things. And guess what? We're getting big enough in Charlotte now, guys, that we're going to do our own. I think that's awesome. We learned a lot from Brent. But we are, where's Craig? What page? Here. How can I miss you? Right? How can I miss you? Right now, what are we, the third largest state for eXp?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think we're the third largest state. Think about that. You know, how fast we're growing and how fast you guys are growing your organization. The eXp is a convention. Need I say more? You saw Mark Castillo's video. I mean, that's reason enough to really go to the convention, right? But it's a lot of fun, and it's all about really making more money, meeting the right people, rubbing elbows, find out what they did in their business to do the sales they do, and how profitable they are. How many people did we have at our last convention? 3,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge ballroom building.
Biggest ballroom event is amazing. Everyone was so positive and upbeat. So trying to get to that. It will be next October. Shelley, do you know where that is yet? It's in Vegas. Okay, so our next convention, next October, will be in Vegas. We also have our shareholders summit. Okay, that's Orlando, June 6th. Another fun place to go. Bring the kids, bring the family. Guess what? I'll go with my kids and wife. I'll be in a meeting like this for a few hours every day. And then after that, I'll be with the family at Disney somewhere. So take advantage of that. It's kind of cool that we have a shareholders meeting. Why? Because we own stock in the company. We get to hear where the company's going, what they're doing to grow the company, and how the stock's doing. So make sure we plug in. I already talked about sponsorship help. Once again, do not be afraid to lead up or lead down. Talk to the people above you, people below you, to give you guidance and help when you're trying to grow your organization. Shareholder Summit I just talked about, June 6th. Okay, if you can be there, be there. You'll learn a lot, and you get plugged in. All those 6 things, I'm going to go back for a second. We have 7 different options to plug in to eXp. And I will tell you, the people that plugged into all 7 are really successful in their organization. Okay? Craig, Shelley, Rich, Keely, Marcus, Holly, Tom Hopper, Bob Crowley, and I'm forgetting people. I can't remember everyone, but it's the people that plug into all of these and commit to it. It's changing their lives. I know it's changed my life, and I'm extremely happy that I got this opportunity. Craig, Shelley, thank you. Thought we were just going for a beer. Track your growth, okay? Rich Tomasini is going to go over the Rob Flick wealth chart. Who has seen the Rob Flick video with the wealth chart before? Pretty good, right? We all watch it, but we don't use that wealth chart. Use it, you will grow, okay? We have to set attainable goals, guys. So this is what I want everyone to do. I want you to start with 5 agents. Attract 5 agents. All of us, when we first got in, we're like, I'm going to get 40 people in 30 days. It's going to be easy. No, you're asking people to actually change their lives, right? Change companies. It takes a while. It doesn't happen overnight. So stop thinking that you're going to go and get 40 people overnight and 200 people in a month. No one's done it. It hasn't happened. Okay? I actually don't know anyone that got 40 people in a year. So let's get 5 people, okay? And if we go after agents that sell, what do we know? We're going to make $2,800 off every agent's production, right? So go get some agents that sell for $3.6 million a year. And this is how you start building your organization. And I want you to help them just get 5. Okay, guys? 5, and help them get 1 piece. So you grow your organization by 10 people. And they're all productive agents. And what's that mean the following 12 months? It means $2,500 a month. And that's life-changing for a lot of people. Okay? Is this attainable for everyone in the room?
Yes.
Yes.
So I want everyone to focus. Get 5. Help them all get 1. You have to start the avalanche somewhere. It won't start by itself. But once you get there, and then you become Lauren Rocco, and you support your people, and Rick Tomasini, and Keely, and Craig, and support their people, the snowball gets bigger and bigger. But you have to start that snowball down the hill yourself. Okay? And once you start it yourself, it will grow. Okay, now, I am done. And we're going to have Craig LePage come up here.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to talk about some great tools that we put together for all of us to use and help in the support aspect of our organization. But before I talk about that, I think one of the most important things we could talk about is all of the other companies are talking about eXp Realty, and they're talking about us for a reason, because everybody's moving here. And what they're doing is they're creating a false picture. So what they're seeing, I feel like it keeps going in and out.
It does, yeah.
So I'm going to do this. So what they're doing is they're only hearing and seeing. You know, the agents are only hearing and seeing things. So, and they're working in silos. So they're working in their little franchise and they're in their building, and they're only hearing what they're hearing and they're only seeing what they're seeing. So it's very important for us to paint a different picture. The message that they're sending is there's no support, there's no collaboration, it's a fad, it'll fizzle out. You've heard them all because a lot of you were somewhere else before you were here, and you've just recently come here. So you've heard these things. So I don't know where Nick went. Nick. Oh, hang on, I think I've got my own thing. There we go. I don't need that. So the exposure is key. This is probably one of the most important things we can do. We need to spread the vision. Okay? So they don't see this. They don't see this happen. They don't. Zoom calls. They don't see the webinars. They don't see, you know, the lunch and learns. They don't see all of that. So it's important to create a vision. So use the platforms that we have, like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Interview people. Why did you come to eXp Realty? Simple. I talked to a bunch of people here earlier, and they were telling me why, and they didn't even know that that is the most important message they could be showing.
Just try to.
Can you do this? Can you hear me? Yeah, that's annoying. So the most important thing is they have to see what we're doing. They have to see the excitement. And we have to put it on these different platforms so that they can constantly see it, because they're constantly hearing their team leader or their manager saying, that's fizzling out, you haven't heard anything, you're in a silo, you're working by yourself, you're just going to be working at home, there's no collaboration, there's no help, there's no nothing. So we need to paint a picture that shows them all of the different things that we have. So interview people, interview your friend. Why did you come to eXp? Where were you before? What's your experience been? What are you excited for the future in this company? Anytime there's any kind of news, a different growth point, we just hit 15,000 agents. Post that, say you're so excited. You know, I can't believe a year ago when I was shown this company, there was only 2,600 people in this company. Now there's 15,000. It's insane. When we went to the NASDAQ, put that out there. Say, you know, they said we were just a penny stock. Look at us now. We're trading with the big boys. We're in the NASDAQ. This is no joke. We just purchased a company, eXp Holdings just purchased Virbela, which is a software company that powers eXp World. That is huge. eXp World Holdings is the conglomerate. eXp Realty is a subset of that. Now Virbela is a subset of that. Picture this. Picture Bank of America or a big, huge company, Virbela going to them and say, listen, we can save you $500 million by having your people work from home twice a week. Use this platform. They could be in your meetings and not have to come and use all the resources within that skyscraper. That's huge. They can sell a lot of real estate, and that's why this is really important. And that's why eXp Holdings purchased Virbela. It's huge. It's a lot bigger than people think it is. So paint that picture. Get that message out there. Create constant quality content. People are watching. They are watching. Everybody knows about this company. They need to see what's going on constantly. So everybody in this room should post something from this day. This was amazing. This was fun. This was exciting. I learned so much. I'm pumped to go forward in this company. So show the events. Show what you learned about. Say, I was so thankful I talked to this agent today and they showed me all these business ideas of how I can improve my real estate business. Take a walk through the campus. Go to a class and videotape it and put it on Facebook and say, this is so cool. I'm sitting here in my pajamas with a cup of coffee at 9 o'clock taking a class with 100 people from around the country. Put it in your Facebook story, your Instagram story. Constantly put it out there because the people that respect you are watching you. And if you have that constant content that's going out, you're going to be the person they ask about it. Someone else might have even approached them and they're like, that's not for me, I don't even know you. But they know you, they like you, they've been watching you, they trust you. You're going to be the person that they're going to connect to. Sometimes it's just about the right person. All right, so we'll go into some resources. We've created some really cool resources for you. The first one is Workplace. We didn't really create that, but eXp did. Is everybody here on Workplace?
Yes. Love it.
You have to be on Workplace. It's incredible. Workplace is, if anybody has worked in corporate America, there's something that is called an intranet. An intranet is basically a back-end community that a company operates in and communicates in and shares ideas and resources and announcements. And that's what Workplace is. It's a Facebook product that was created. eXp is one of the largest, if not the largest user of Workplace. It's awesome. So we're right now about 15,000 agents. The last time I looked, there's over 14,000 people for eXp on Workplace. So it's almost the entire company collaborating in one spot, constantly communicating, sharing ideas. That's unheard of. Because your last company, you were held to the team meeting. That's your sharing. Or if they taught some kind of class in the meeting room, that was your collaboration. There wasn't any big collaboration. So utilize Facebook Workplace. If you're not in it, just go into your eXp Enterprise page, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see the icon. You can click on from there and sign in. You also can go to the App Store on your phone and get the Workplace app. You can access it really quick. And there's also Workplace messaging, which is really cool. If you need to contact anybody within leadership, within the company, that is the best place to do it. They will respond. So, depending. So I hope you don't know. So Workplace is big. For our organization, which is everybody in the room, and a lot more, we've created.
I'm switching to it.
Okay. Oh, so you go right to it.
Yeah.
Impact, reinfo.com. That's on your sheet right there that you have. So it's not a public site. It's just a resource site that we've built for our organization. And this is the shell of it. It's in its infancy. So be careful. Not be careful, but give it some time. So right now we have all the lunch and learns that we have that around North Carolina, South Carolina. We're going to be adding more and more as the different states come aboard within our organization. And this will be updated. So it just shows the location, who's doing it, where it's at, contact. Bill Price is in charge of the Lunch and Learns, so if you have any questions, contact him. His information's at the bottom. So go to the next. So building your organization, that's what we're all here for today. So we've got some great things in here, some useful strategies, best ways to explain. There's a best practices video that Brent Gove did. He's one of the people in our organization that's higher up that does a great job. It's the new re.com. Everybody should know that in this room. If someone's asking, what is eXp about, and you're meeting with them, after your meeting, this is what they should be watching. This is a webinar that is updated as the company grows. It's the new re.com. Brent Gove does that webinar. It's updated. It's a great explanation of the company. There's also other things, the slide deck that is used in that webinar is right there. This is a bigger slide deck. Brent's is kind of dumbed down to about 22 minutes, I believe. But this is the full slide deck from eXp Realty. There's a wealth building slide deck, a wealth building video for that sheet that you have, the wealth building chart that Rob Flick put together that's in your packet. This is the video that goes with it. You all need to watch that. It's awesome. And then if you ever need to print another one of those charts, here's a PDF version right here for you. And then there's some other big events. The National Leadership event that Brent Gove does in the cloud. There's some other things there. There's also some resources that AJ does that we do together as well. So take a look and navigate through that. Education, we're trying to get this a little more fluid also. But in addition to all of the things that you have in the cloud campus, and there's a weekly schedule that's put out. It should be in your email every week. We're also putting it on the Facebook page, which I'm going to show you in a second. This is the actual eXp calendar that they email to you. So if you can't find it, you can just go right to this address, click on education, and go to eXp education calendar. There's archive classes that are in Expressway, so if you need to find a non-live event, if you're looking for a specific topic, you can go to Expressway. Those are basically archived, taped classes. There's a North Carolina state calendar, which shows different events from the state level, as far as meetings and bi-weekly meetings that they have, sky slope training, sky slope tutorials, and so forth. And then here's some other events that we have. So education, this will all grow. This is just the shell of each one of these pages. So if you need help with the systems, when you come aboard, some people were using different systems, and that's one of the transition points that is a little bit challenging at times. Everybody hates change and wants to learn things. So you could go into SkySlope and learn about SkySlope. SkySlope has an awesome amount of tutorials, video tutorials that they have, that you can just follow how to do each part of the transaction and use that software. SkySlope will also answer on the second ring, from what I hear. I heard they'll even buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks if they don't. KV Core. KV Core is the lead gen, CRM and lead gen platform that most of us are using. There's some great information on there. I believe that link leads to Nick's KV Core class that he did at our office last month. We'll continue updating that as well. Nick also does.
Next week, Thursday.
The
second edition.
Okay, so next Thursday he's doing another class at LePage Johnson at our office, and so last time we had about 55 people in there, and he just went through each part of it. We're going to tape it as well. We put it on a YouTube channel. You also will have access to it here. Nick's also going to talk to you about some Zoom calls that he does on Wednesdays later on for KV Core. Other eXp resources, and then Workplace we already talked about. Onboarding. Well, we all know onboarding is probably one of the biggest challenges because the company is growing so fast, it's like a fire hose, and they're trying to smooth it out as we go. As the growth comes, they're trying to hire new people. It's gotten much better. Nick has really helped us with the onboarding process and helping people get on smoothly. But this is some great things that we're going to continue to add to. I know Nick is building an entire website that's going to help us with resources for onboarding as well. So you're not alone. Ask for the help. Ask where to find those resources for the people that you're bringing on, and we'll be glad to help you. But this is, we're going to add all this as all the states come aboard, the different states that we have. North Carolina, South Carolina, Maryland, we have Florida, we have Indiana, we've got Nevada. I mean, there's probably about 20 states that we're going to have to continue adding on here. So this will become quite large. And then eXp Enterprise, we had this on there because this is just your back-end resource, but it was mainly how to get to Workplace, which is at the bottom. So go to the next one.
Go back to the slides.
Yeah. So go to Builders, or do I? So Builders Group, AJ might have created Builders Group. AJ is Shelley, my sponsor. AJ's in I don't know where he is right now. He's somewhere traveling. In the mountains with a rooster or something. But he created Builders Group, and he puts content on there quite often. And this is really to help your agent attraction and he interviews people. He talks about some different tips and how to approach people and how to follow up with people. So in addition to the stuff I talked about earlier about exposure, if you get that exposure out there and you start to get a relationship and people are watching you, you're going to be more likely to talk to you when you approach them. So he's giving you the tools to have the confidence in knowing what to say and what to do. We all add information on there as well, but Builders Group is something that you need to join. It's a private group, so just apply to it and they'll let you come aboard. Next one. Workplace app, we already talked about that. Go to the App Store. Workplace chat app, we talked about that. Make sure you have that. Impact RE Info is the website. Make sure you all have that. Did you put
Can we go to
Impact Group?
It's at the top
Yeah.
of ours. That was the first one.
That was the very first one. Yeah. Can we go to it?
Well, everybody should be part of Impact Group USA Agents, which is another Facebook group that's in your sheet there. And this is more about just information that has to do with anything. Announcements, different technology. If we're talking about an upcoming Zoom call, it's going to tell you where it is. It's got lunch and learns. I know we do a monthly education calendar for this local area at our office, and that is pinned to the top every month. Deanna helps put that out for us. And it shows every Thursday we have kind of our foundation classes, which is things like just reviewing how to write a contract and negotiate and just the nuts and bolts of real estate. You know, some of us just need a refresher on that sometimes, and some of us are newer. So take a look at that. We also have what are called pop-up classes, usually on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and they could be on anything. They could be on marketing or anything else outside topic. So those are the things that you need to have. Make sure you have workplace chat app, impactreinfo.com, Impact Group, USA Agents Group, and Builders Group. So, thank you.
So my name is Nick. So I'm here to talk about onboarding because this is a big part of this is a huge decision for a lot of people. And so one of the most important things for everyone when they join the company is those first couple of days, first couple of weeks. And so in here we have a lot of sponsors, right? Everyone is a member of eXp here. And so when you are bringing someone into the company, you got to treat them like your child, like a lot of you have treated me. And so raise a hand, a show of hands. Anyone under the age of 30 in this room? Oh, we got a couple. Great. More than I thought. That's awesome. So we're not alone. I want to start out, by the way, thanking my wonderful girlfriend, Annie. She's in the back over there taking some video. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without her, just like without the help of Craig, Shelly, Bill, all the people we get support from. Really, like I said, this is, like Bill was saying, this is a family, and this is something that we care about each other. That's part of our core values, and so when you bring someone into this company, you're building not only your team, but you're building, relationships that should last through, extend through just the general business relationship. We had, how many people do you think we had at the Christmas party? Couple hundred? We had like 200 people?
A couple hundred.
Yeah, so we were at it was at Port City.
Yeah.
We had 200 people show up. I see a lot of familiar faces and everything. And that is the kind of stuff that, again, once you're part of the company, there was a lot of people, Heidi Hines, I'm gonna pick on you because you were new and I was helping you get through the process. When we connected there, and you're like, okay, now I'm finally getting to meet some of the people that I'm going to be dealing with on a regular basis at the company. So all that is huge. But it is important to note I'm going to go through a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff that each recruit needs to do and complete, but it's also on the sponsor to really make sure they stay on top of it and check on their people. So let's just kind of go through it. All of this is going to be printed as well in the handout, so you can follow along up top. Sponsors, know your join link. Whether you know it or not, each and every one of you right now has a join link. It's your first name, your last name, no space, .exprealty.careers. So that link is where you are going to go, or you're going to refer someone, to join eXp. Because on that link, you have a brand new page. It has your name, your information. Like I said, whether you know it or not, eXp makes these for you. And has great information about eXp. So Craig was mentioning some different videos you can show people, Brent's video and everything. People who are interested in joining eXp. But this website, like I said, was made for you, has great information on there as well. And that's eXp branded content that the company makes for each and every one of us. And so you should definitely know to send your people there if they want to apply. And so we're going to move on. So the second step is it does take 2 to 3 business days for the recruit's application to be reviewed and approved. It is important to note business days because they are not, the state broker team is not available on the weekends. You can reach them through work chat in the workplace, but they don't process anyone on the weekends. Normally it happens, I've been told, on Tuesdays and Fridays. So those are the 2 days, you guys, if someone is applying on a Friday night, don't expect them necessarily even on a Monday. It may take until Tuesday until they're actually through the system and approved. Now, once they are approved, during this time, before they are approved or before they get their ICA, you're going to want to have them download eXp World. This is important because they can join or walk through the world as a guest. As of yesterday, eXp now requires a passport login to get into the eXp World. I think maybe you have another day or two if you're an existing user, but you have to use that eXp single sign-on passport to get into the eXp World. I think they had other visitors or unwelcome guests in the world, and so this is kind of done as security for that. But because of that, if you have someone that you're looking to bring on to eXp and they're not already in, they don't have a sign-on, they can join as a guest, but you have to get approval from, I believe it's tech support. But here's the link to download, download.exprealty.com. If we're going too fast, so you can slow me down, and I will take questions. At the end, there hasn't been a lot of interaction like that. But again, so after approval, Agent Services will send out the independent contracting agreement, the ICA. Again, this will take 2 to 3 days after application is vetted, approved, and everything. And this is key, guys. It will come from a third party. It's either Eastern Careers, Western Careers, Hello Signature. It doesn't just say, clearly eXp. So if you're not seeing it in your inbox, make sure you're checking for those places. It can also be Central Careers, I guess. It's their third-party onboarding site or company. And make sure to check your spam, because it does go in there a lot of times. And so you want to make sure you do that. Now, what is key though, as I've been helping people go through this process, you tend to learn from different mistakes and different things that happen. It is important to note here that when you get these emails and you get your ICA, they're going to ask you for an email to use as you're onboarding before you get that eXp email. You need to make sure that if you're coming, let's say, from a different company and someone else has access to your email, you want to make sure you're using an email that maybe your old Vic doesn't have access to. So they don't see, welcome to eXp or join eXp in your inbox. And I've seen that happen a lot. And so, just for you guys, awareness. Make sure you tell your recruits, hey, don't put your KW email, maybe, if you're thinking about leaving, because you might get a call to sit in the office for a couple hours talk about that in a bit. So we're going to keep moving. Any questions about that first slide, though? Go back. Do you have any questions so far? Okay, good. Awesome. We're going to keep moving on. So with onboarding, provisional brokers do need to sign a mentor agreement. I know there's a lot of questions about the mentor side of this. There are mentors available, usually in every area, but sometimes you have to find them. That's where something like Workplace comes in handy. There is actually a group called Mentor Group, where you can say, hey, I need a mentor in XYZ area, who is available? And you can help, find your people a good, suitable mentor in those areas. Now, in addition, go back real quick. So, a policy and procedures document also is sent after the ICA is signed, but it no longer needs to be signed. That used to be a requirement, and a lot of people would get stuck, and so they changed that recently. You no longer have to sign the policy procedure document. Even if there is a place to sign, you don't have to sign it. You just need to have it for your records and everything. And so moving on. So after the ICA is signed and submitted, the broker team will review it and send out an email with a license transfer request form. You can find this also on your MLS if they don't attach it. I've seen that happen a couple times. And again, just to be clear with everyone, so the start date that you give to the state broker is the official date that they will tell the MLS to change your affiliation, and your former broker in charge will be notified. So write that down, or start that, because that is very important. And so Kevin, you're a prime example. So you delayed yours. Kevin's a great agent in Denver area, and so he wanted to delay his for a couple weeks. Yeah. And so you can delay up to a month or longer, depending on the circumstance, for your start date. But you have to be very clear in all the emails with the state broker team. Because if they don't know when you're starting, they assume it's immediate, right? And all of a sudden your former broker is getting an email saying, hey, so-and-so is no longer with you. And that gets pretty awkward. So to avoid all those issues, make sure you tell your people if they're joining, again, that start date that they communicate with the state broker team is when the old broker is notified, and make sure of that. Did I have a question? We're good? Awesome. Now, over here, number 7. Oh, question over here. In front.
So, I've got a PV that just signed on. She received, congratulations, yada, 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 but she never received a mentor agreement. So where is that? They're giving her the instructions to transfer her license, but she's never been licensed anywhere yet.
I see. So sometimes, all these emails, guys, are automated. And so sometimes, what it is they might have created an account for her, not realizing she is a PV, and they might not send the email. Here's where you go for all of these issues. eXp World. They can fix everything. If you go in there and go to onboarding services.
I went to the onboarding concierge already.
Yeah, it probably takes a day or two, a couple days, but that is usually, because again, I personally can't send those emails and everything, and so, someone made a mistake somewhere, and it happens with a company that's growing at this pace. Look at the room, right? You've got 1,000 people every month almost onboarding at the same time. It happens. And so eXp World onboarding services, you can also go to tech support, because all the tech members in the eXp World are admins for any account in eXp. So they can log into your eXp Enterprise, they can fix any problems, they can resend any emails, reset tokens to create accounts. They can do anything, and everything. So that's the place I'll go. Did you get that resolved yet, or are you still here?
No, it's here.
Okay.
Monday's a new day.
Very true, very true.
Is she getting a mentor or something?
In the back.
I just have
Hey,
a
Tim.
comment. So just have her reach out to the expand program and they'll connect her with someone that's close to her area.
So the expand program,
And then we'll assign a mentor for her.
and is that workplace, world?
She can go, yeah, and in the emails, when you're in our email, just look up expand, it'll come up. When you're in your eXp email, and just send an email and say your person's name and where they're located, and we'll connect them with somebody close by. So they can have a
So we have the expand program, we have the mentor group on Workplace. You can also post in the Charlotte group or your local state group. Like we have a North Carolina group, the South Carolina group on Workplace. Just post in there, hey guys, I need help. People will help you. Which, by the way, another thing, I don't know if Craig mentioned that with Workplace, it's great for referrals. There's a huge referral network in Workplace. If you ever have a referral out of state or in a city that you're not in, you'll find someone and they will comment. I did a couple referrals to California. I had 10 responses in like 5 minutes. I felt bad for the other 9. Because they were all great people. They're all great eXp agents, but people will help you. And so again, so when you start, the start date is when, that former broker in charge is notified. And then after they sign the form, the broker will sign it and submit the form to the MLS to start that process. But keep in mind, this email everyone should have right here. If you don't have that email saved as a contact, you should go ahead and do that now. Again, so this is nc.broker@exprealty.com. There's also sc.broker in pretty much every single state. That is your entire broker team. So for North Carolina, Matt, all the assistant brokers, all the transaction coordinators, everybody that runs our state, they have access to that email. So if you ever have a question and you're trying to get through to somebody, you send it to that email, about 10 or 12 people will get that in their inbox, and you have a good chance of getting a quick response. And again, that is where you want to send MLS transfer forms, any documents that the state brokers need to sign, nc.broker or sc.broker, your state.broker@exprealty.com. Any questions on this slide? Keep moving on. All right, so around the time that the license transfer process is started, your recruiter will receive an email to set up eXp email forwarding. Now, the subject of this email will say, activate your eXp Realty email address. So if you have them search that, it'll come up faster. Again, check your spam, and again, make sure that that email that they forward to is their own email. Now, this is an important slide here because this confuses a lot of people. And let me explain why. So eXp used to give out G Suite accounts. So for example, I was grandfathered in, so I have an eXp Realty email, and then I have a second Gmail for my personal and another Gmail, for my other business stuff. But I have a separate eXp email. They no longer do this. So eXp now requires everyone to forward all their eXp emails to a Gmail account. So what that means is that it can also be to Outlook, but we've had a lot of issues with Outlook, so I would recommend creating a Gmail account. You can also, like I said, do it to Outlook. But basically, the idea is that you need your own account, and then you have to forward your eXp email address to that other account. All right, and so a lot of times, like I said, people will get confused about this because they think that eXp will just give them another email. They used to do that, but basically what I'm saying is you can keep your own personal email. You can keep it nick@homes.com or whatever, or nick@gmail, and I can forward those emails there. But when I send out emails, it'll be from nick@gmail.com. Right? And so, but just keep in mind, so you can still put your eXp email on that card, and people will send you those emails, but it's forwarding to an account that you have now. And so again, I'll just bring this back up. Make sure it's your own account. Don't send your emails to your old company, or if there's an email that you won't have access to in a week because they're going to cut off your access. Make sure you don't make that mistake. I've seen it happen, and it's not pretty. So that's just a big one. Does everyone understand where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
How to explain that to the recruits? Oftentimes what I'll say is if you have a personal email and the recruit will say, oh, well, I don't want to mix up my business and my personal. Well, here's what you do. You have your personal already. Create a dummy business one. It can be anything. Like, obviously, like you want to make it, since people will see the email, you want to make it professional. So like nickhomes@gmail.com. and then just forward it there. And that's all you have to do. And if you forward your email to the wrong email, don't worry. Go to the tech support team, and they can fix that in about 10 seconds. And they can just send it to a new email. But that is how the process works now. They no longer give out G Suite accounts. We got Bob walking in, if everyone is. He just had knee surgery a couple weeks ago, so let's clap it up for him.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. Neat. All right, and so we're almost at the end, guys. So after that email is forwarded, they will receive an email to set up this passport single sign-on, which again, as of yesterday, you now need to access eXp World, Enterprise, and Expressway. The idea of passport single sign-on is that once you do it once, it saves it. So for you people who hate saving passwords or forget all your passwords, this helps. And so once you set that up, you'll get an email to set that up after the email is forwarded. That's one of the first ones in the welcome email will say welcome EXP. Part of that will be sign up for passport. That is what will get you in to all this stuff. And finally, after they, almost at the end. So recruiter will receive an email to set up SkySlope. They need to get zip forms from the MLS. So if you are getting your forms provided by your old company, you do need to call the MLS and, to get access from them. So keep that in mind. And finally, on your start date, this is important as well. So if you want to start this, just circle it on your sheet. Tell your recruit to sign up for KV Core in Enterprise. It's under the Optional Services tab. This takes about a week, so the sooner the better. So whenever they can log into eXp Enterprise and they're officially on board, make sure they go to Optional Services. So log into eXp Enterprise, and on the left-hand side, there's Optional Services. You click on that, and the only one available will be KV Core. Make sure you have them sign up, because I see a lot of people like Bill who were at the company for a long time and never set up their KV Core.
Never. Matter of fact, Nick set up from November 1st, November 12th, we met for lunch again. He's like, hey, did you go on your KV Core? I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. He's like, yeah, 14 leads in there, what are you doing?
And these are all people that went to his old website. If you went to the old Bill Price website,
Stop using the word old. Go ahead.
It was his high school photo and then his listings, and that was it. And so I said, Bill, this is really misleading. They need to see what you look like now, so they can, they know who they're talking to. But they went to his new website once we got set up.
I'll let my sales speak for themselves, Ben.
Yeah, there you go. So we went to, these are people that went to his new website that we set up for him that he was paying for the whole time, and they're logging in now through the forced registration, and he's got leads in there that he never knew about. So set up KV Core, do it as soon as possible, and get that going. And so I'll stop for questions, and after that we're going to pass it back on over to Bill. We got it. Yes, Cam.
Just so you know about the zip forms in there, if they never had zip forms before, if they go in the MLS, it'll say, basically set up your account. You just need to know I think it's your NERDS number.
Your NERDS number, yeah. That is the one. And so, yeah, so give them a call, go into MLS, whatever's easier for you guys. But they will need to get it from there, especially if their old company is providing it, because then they're going to cut out access. So that is important. Any other questions in the back?
Just along that same line, I'm a South Carolina agent, also licensed in North. If you have someone who is licensed primary in South Carolina, they will have to buy through zip forms the North Carolina forms. Not a big deal. I think it's $165 a year. It's easy. You don't have to join boards. You don't have to do anything. So if you have someone, let me say it again, South Carolina primary, North Carolina secondary, they just have to go through zip forms and buy the North Carolina forms. And that's after many painful days of trying other ways.
So South Carolina primary and buy your NC zip forms. You said $165? $165. And so, yeah, I think we're running up on time, so pass this over to Bill.
So so the old guy's back up on the stage. So onboarding is so important, right? When Craig, Shelley, and Rich and I came over, we didn't have any of that. We really didn't know how to really onboard people, okay? So it's great that we have all these tools now, you know? And Nick took the time to put it together for us. Follow it, right? It's a little syllabus you can use when you're bringing someone on board. One thing I want to point out that everyone forgets to do, when we sell real estate, what's the three most important things? Location, 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 right? Guess what? Your eXp agent. We're a virtual company, right? So you know what's really important? Go to the world, go to the world, go to the world. Go to the virtual world. I mean, you get all your answers there. I'm not a techie person. Nick makes fun of me all the time. But Paige laughs at me, right? I just got a Facebook like last year, okay? But guess what? I go to the world all the time. Even AJ Maida, retired, 31 years old, out in California. Hey Bill, you finally got a Facebook business page. Congrats, 12 years later. But guess what, guys? I go to the world all the time, and guess what? It's where you get your answers.
Yeah.
Okay? Matter of fact, I tell people I bring over a lot, besides call Nick, I say go to the world. Because you're going to get the right answer. I'll help you as much as I can. But remember, go to the world. When you bring a potential agent over, bring them to the world. Rich Tomasini just started doing it last month. You bring every new sponsored agent to the world yourself and walk them around. It's important they know where to go. Okay, keep this by your side, memorize it. So, we're going to talk about objections next. I know all about objections. I'm married to an attorney. Okay? I never win an argument. And then I meet a new best friend. Where'd Rich go? I made a new best friend. He's hovering, right? Oh my God. And then another person who's great at projections. I said, now I got two in my life. So Rich Tomasini is so powerful and builds such a good organization because he's great at objections. His famous line all the time when I call, how'd you do with your meeting for your, recruit you have over? He's like, oh, Bill, they brought a knife to a gunfight. Like, he always wins, okay? So he's really good at this, so I want you to pay attention. Rich Tomasini, everyone.
All right, good. So we're going to cover a few things, do's and don'ts, right? If you don't mind, just because I'm public school. Yeah.
I'll give you a plate. All right. It's $1.
All right, all right, I'm going to lay these guys out for you guys. The don'ts, I want you to focus on the don'ts more than the do's. This is what's going to hurt you the most. All right, so listen, I came over to eXp August 4, 2017. My beautiful wife is 5 months pregnant, Katie, sitting right there. We just found out we're having a boy yesterday. Our second boy, plus I'm going to give her a little embarrassment. So anyway, I came over here with a team called the Lake Crew. We had 3 agents. I don't particularly like realtors, right? So this was going to be tough for me because I don't hang out with realtors, right? I felt like I had enough of realtors in my life from 8 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night. So I was trying to find a way to reconcile this underlying Scrooge within myself and figure out how do I become an entrepreneur and work on my business. And it was a real quick epiphany that happened to me. This is the best thing that ever happened to me financially. And other people need a win. So I'm going to explain it. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to pitch it. I'm not going to talk your ear off over the phone. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm going to explain the model. And I'm going to explain it to the point where I overcome your objections because your objections aren't thought out. But this model and platform is thought out. We have an advantage. So let's go with do's. We all know because we're realtors, right, that we have to engage. Engage and connect. It's a relationship business. You can move mountains if you can connect with people in 3 to 4 places, right? You can move mountains. If you have 3 or 4, if both of your parents had cancer and you're talking to somebody whose family member has cancer or went through it themselves, you can move mountains together. You have to engage, but you have to connect, okay? Connect with agents one-on-one. Don't vomit eXp all over them. They don't want to hear it. When Bill called me about eXp, I was like, oh, God, this is why I never went to Keller Williams, right? I don't want to meet Bill and have a beer. right? It's no offense to Bill, but we didn't know each other that well, and I'd rather go home and have a beer with my wife. Pre-pregnancy, right? So anyway, so we have to connect with people, okay? He had built enough relationship where I felt obligated to go have the beer. Plus, I'm in the service business. Anybody here say yes faster than they say no? We're a group of people that put everybody else in front of ourselves. Shouldn't be very hard, right? We're talking to people just like us. Social media. You guys believe in the laws of attraction? Anybody here believe in that?
Yeah.
All right, good. I couldn't attract Katie in my life 10 years ago because I wasn't attractive. I was a mess, right? So I worked on myself and I matured and I grew up and I chewed with my mouth closed and I'm not in boxer shorts at 9:30 in the morning and wow, look at this magical woman appears in my life, right? So the laws of attraction work if you're attractive, right? If what you have going on, your mojo, your drive is attractive, people want to know. Anybody here know who AJ Maida is? Yeah, none of you guys have met him. But you know that he's got a $400,000 motorhome driving around in Breckenridge and that he's got a new snowboard and he likes $8 coffees, you know that, right? He's attracting his agents by living a life that you would live if you had 6 months left on the clock. It works, okay? Social media is who you are and what you do. So if you don't have a big audience, if you don't have 5,000 people on social media, you're not, why even have a Facebook? Do you guys really care what I ate last night? No. Barry's a vegetarian. Where's Barry? He doesn't care if you had a nice steak at Epic. Doesn't make a difference. That's your audience. You guys are my audience for the next 20 minutes, right? It's about you guys. I need to advance your vision of what you wanted in your life by helping support you. I mean, we were all little kids here, and we dreamed of these big lives that we were going to have. And then TV and the digital revolution has come over here and showed us lives that were better than ours. And we feel less happy about what we have going on. And some of you guys in this room, just a few of you, in this room, that pisses you off. And I hope it does. Because you got to dig in deep, and you got to grind, and you got to find the grit to make some phone calls, to talk to some agents, and to change your life. In 2017, I had sold $400 million of real estate. And I have to do that 2 more times to retire. I don't have the energy. I got a 2-year-old son, I've got my wife, I got my parents live 100 yards down the street from me. I've got other things that I'd rather do. So I dug deep and I had the worst beating of the little bitty ego that I had not fired. From August to now, it's been 15 months, and I've got 41 level 1s and 500 agents. Not because I'm talented, I promise you. You'll see that I'm not a professional speaker if you haven't already assessed that. It's because every single day, the first thing that I did on my calendar is I made time for the highest and best use of my family's time. And that was to make relationships, to talk to people, to explain the model, and then everything else can come after that. Because if I do the homework early in my day, I'll never put it off. Okay? Social media, that's your audience. Face to face, this is still quite important. What do you hate about everything digital, right? It's not face to face. I love that I can buy stuff on Amazon for 40% less, but at some point, if there's no brick and mortar stores anywhere, I don't know what we're going to do on the weekends, Katie. Right? I can have a virtual meal delivered to our house, but I know what the ambience of my dining room looks like. It's different. I'd rather go out, have a drink, listen to some music. Right? So face-to-face is still important. This is where you're going to connect. And if you're going to talk 70% of the time and listen 30% of the time,